We've been here before, fighting the problems that fight back, because we see opportunities where others see obstacles. We're change makers and problem solvers, uniting over 1 million minds to address complex issues facing communities around the world, including yours. We're working together as partners and professionals, while making friendships that last a lifetime. We're Rotary, and there's no limit to what we can do.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa, where a bunch of good people come together and do great things around the world and in our community. Let's take a moment and turn to somebody with a circle badge you haven't met before and say hi. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We've got a great program for you today. And I'm going to check my email box when I get back to the office. I had sent out an email to wear your camo today, but I think I'm the only one that got the message. Oh, you're pretty close. So we got a great program today, and for our invocations, Bryant Bynum. Song and Pledge is Michelle Place, and visitor introductions is past President Chuck Wilson. If I could have Bryant.
Thanks, John. As we bow our heads, God, our mind is at peace and our thoughts quiet, so that we can reflect on the work we can do as a group to better the lives of our fellow man, and that we be open and receptive to your direction and guidance in how we proceed. As we traverse each day, let us remember to keep an element of God's peace present in our mind, aware of those around us and how our individual actions can make a significant impact upon them. May we treat all man as a creation of you. Amen.
Well, good afternoon. It is such a gorgeous day in Tulsa. Let's sing America the Beautiful, followed by the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello.
We are so glad to have so many guests here with us today. I'm going to be giving the names of our guests, their host Rotarians. Ask you to stand for just a moment, and then we will recognize all of you when we finished. First of all, there is Mark Lawrence with Jackie Cooper Imports, who is the guest of Greg Keck. Michelle Carlton with State Farm is a guest of Becky Fields. Robert Jones of First Oklahoma Bank, a guest of Becky Sholin. A good friend, Terry Kroll, is here today. He's with Bank First with Bill Miller. Terry. Jonathan Kleck with Lou Ann Bullinger, and Lou Ann also has with her Laura Paralori, our exchange student from Bishop Kelly. John Smoligo, one of our county commissioners, is here today with Michael Willis. Luke Tomasino, a friend of Catherine DeCamp, is here today. Chris Middlebrook with BAM Entertainment is a friend of Jane Carlson. Vince Westbrook, the director of tennis at the University of Tulsa, is here today with Susan Buck. Julio Tirado is here with Rhonda Renz. And then Rex Yoakley, who is with IMAX, and Pat Graham are both here today with our president, John Raines. Help me welcome all of our guests. And now we have visiting Rotarians and visiting Rotaractors. First of all, from Rotaract, Cole Adamson. Hi, Cole. Jonathan Slay. Hi, Jonathan. Katie Nicholas. Hi, Katie. And from Sand Springs, Harlan Pinkerton. Also from Southside, better known as Mrs. Gorell's husband, Ben Gorell. Thank you for coming.
It's always good to have Mr. Gorell. Today, I'd like to recognize our sponsors from TTCU. We have Tim Lyons and Rod Robarts, Southern Hills Veterinary Hospital, Catherine DeCamp, Oklahoma Innovation Institute, and Stan McCabe and Charles Seacrest from Key Personnel. Let's give them a big hand for their support. I'd like to go ahead and take a peek at some of our upcoming programs. March the 1st, great program honoring our service members in Tulsa, firefighters and policemen. It's our annual Above and Beyond Awards. It's always a great program. Thank you, Rob, for your work and the committee. We look forward to that. On March the 8th, Kelly Masters, she's a sports agent, and just she and sports agent makes her very unique. And if I'm not mistaken, she was one of the first or the first female sports agents. So she's going to come speak to us about her lessons from a so-called pioneer. And then on March the 15th, some of you have gotten emails. We're going to have a very unique program for our Rotary Foundation celebration. We are going to rock the place out with a basketball tournament. So wear your gear, and if you're asked to help, the answer is yes. And I'm looking for people to help fill the place. We're going to have contests and winners and all kinds of fun stuff. So pep band, cheerleaders, the whole 9 yards. So if you're going to be in town, make sure you make this meeting and bring a guest. Now I have a couple of announcements to make. On behalf of the club, I want to extend my condolences to the family of Jack Mandeville. Jack passed away as a longtime Rotarian on February the 15th. A memorial service was conducted this past Monday. This week, we have cards on the table, so please use those cards to extend your thoughts and prayers to that family, and they would be very much appreciated. Also, we learned last night of the passing of past District Governor Peggy George. Peggy was very close with Linda. Linda was the first female president of this club, and Peggy was the first female district governor for District 6110. Both happened the same year, and I know they had a good time together, and we really want to keep Peggy and her family in our thoughts. She is a member of Southeast Club, but we recognize her here for her pioneering spirit along with Linda. Her services are this Friday at 11 at Asbury United Methodist Church. Also a reminder, the Nicaragua trip, the members are heading out today. So be sure and think of them as you travel through your week, the rest of the week. That's a pretty good little flight, and it's a pretty good cultural shock just hitting the airport. So we wish them a lot of luck getting through customs and all that, and we expect their return next week. Hear good things about them. We have a couple of committee meetings today. Above and Beyond Awards is going to put a bow on it in room 234, and IBO Awards is going to meet in room 233. At this time, I'd like to introduce our Rotarian of the Day, past president, Linda Bradshaw. There was a life before we knew her for President Linda and before Tulsa World of Gymnastics. Linda's now retired after 40 years, and she finds it fun to reminisce on her old hobbies that consumed her in the late 60s and 70s. Linda and her husband, Wayne, which most of us know from visiting, were avid fishermen, and actually Wayne was on the Bass Pro Circuit as a professional fisherman for a time. Linda, following Wayne, became an accomplished fisherman in her own right and founded the nation's first all-women's Bass Pro group called the Tulsa Bass Bells. So she was actually a pioneer founding the women's bass tournament circuit. Winning the title of Ladies World Champion in '71, she was named Oklahoma Sportsman of the Year by Oklahoma Governor Hall. She was a field tester for Zebco and conducted fishing seminars with Chuck Roberts in Louisiana and Nebraska. She could be found on lakes year-round. Her sponsor for tournaments was Bagley Baits out of Winter Haven, Florida. Linda and Wayne have 3 grown children and 6 grandchildren. She's a past president of this club, of course, a club foundation pillar, Paul Harris Fellow, major donor, and recent recipient of the James G. Sade Service and Above Self and Then Some Award. So help me welcome our Rotarian of the Day, Linda Bradshaw.
So now you know the rest of the story. Such a pleasure to be here today and to introduce Adam Maris. He is the founder of Spring Valley Anglers Rod and Gun Club that provides members with exclusive hunting and fishing opportunities across the nation and around the world. I had my first fly fishing lesson there last year, and with my hip waders on, and out in that middle of that beautiful stream, it was nothing like bass fishing, I can assure you. But Adam, I will tell you that the guide you put me with, Zach, was amazing. And by the end of the day, well, they wanted to quit at noon. I couldn't believe it. I had 2 fish, 2 rainbow trout. He has a catch and release program. So it was a great day for me. Adam is a native Tulsan, and he is a graduate of Metro Christian Academy and also an alum of Oklahoma City University. And as a young boy growing up, Adam was proficient with fly fishing by the time he was 12 years old, and that love seemed to never diminish. However, he met his true love, the former Dr. Vanessa Watson, and they married in 2013. They welcomed their first child last year, and it's a little fellow, and his name is Smith Fisher Maris. Now, at Adam's request, I would like to introduce to you that little fellow's namesake. Smith is named after Ed Smith, and I'm going to ask Ed to stand. This is Adam's namesake. This is his great-grandfather. He is a World War II veteran, a very successful entrepreneur in his own right. He is, you all know, he is a Rotary Club of Tulsa volunteer here. And Adam wanted me to tell you that his great-grandfather is the best husband, father, grandfather that he will ever know. He also is his mentor and sponsor with a lot of things that Adam has done. So that's for you from your great-grandson, Adam. We all love a success story, and that success story today can probably be defined by what Thomas Edison once said, because I know Adam has had an uphill story to tell. Thomas Edison said, success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So this is Adam's story, and I want him to tell you all he can about what he's doing now and what he plans to do in the future. Please give a warm Rotary welcome to Adam Maris.
Thank you. Linda, thank you so much for the great introduction. And John, thank you so much for inviting me here to speak to the Rotary Club of Tulsa today. I do want to recognize my grandparents, Ed and Maxine Smith, as well as Gip Gibson. Gip is the president of Commerce Bank, and he's a guest of mine today. So thank you for being here. Also would like to briefly recognize Josh Teff, our general manager and head waterfowl guide. You'll hear much more from him later, so I'm going to keep the introduction to him very brief. Josh, let everybody. When I founded Spring Valley Anglers Rod and Gun Club 12 years ago, I could have never dreamed that I would have the opportunity to be here sharing my success story with you. In fact, part of the biggest reason I'm here today is because of my failures. After graduating from Metro Christian Academy, I received a college scholarship to play Division I baseball. And one of the earliest lessons I learned from baseball is that as a hitter, you can fail 7 out of 10 times and still be in the Hall of Fame. So after my second knee surgery, I realized my major league dreams weren't to be, but thankfully, because of my baseball career, I was equipped with a skill set that would lend itself to starting a business from scratch in an industry that didn't even really exist yet and with no money. Now, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to show you guys a video of my story and the history of Spring Valley Anglers Rod and Gun Club. Hi, welcome to Spring Valley Anglers Rod and Gun Club. My name is Adam Maris. I founded the club in the fall of 2006. We're the largest club of our kind in the country. We have access to over 100 miles of private trophy trout stream and over 200,000 acres of private hunting ground. And I'd love to tell you my story now. When I was in high school in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I caddied at the Southern Hills Golf Club. That's kind of where the idea of Spring Valley Anglers was born. In my senior year of high school, I was able to read an advertisement about a bed and breakfast that's on the same property that we have now. And so I just got in my car and drove around northwest Arkansas, knocking on doors and trying to convince people to let me on their property to fly fish. Finally, I ran into a guy. He was actually pulling out of his property, so I kind of chased him down and I asked him about a trout in his stream, and he went on and on about how incredible it was, but he just said, "No, I won't let you fish." So I took his name and number down. Wrote him a letter a month for 3 years. So we'd kind of become friends and had a relationship. And I remember he said, "I'll tell you what, if you stop writing me letters, I'll let you come and fly fish." Man, I'll never forget. I went out that spring and fished the property by myself, and it was just pristine, crystal clear Spring Creek with tons of trophy rainbow and brown trout. And I probably caught, 50 or 60 fish that day, and just kind of remember looking around saying, my goodness, how could I start a private fishing club on this property? In May of 2006, I was getting ready to graduate from college and was either going to pursue medical school or a job in a front office of a Major League Baseball team. And so when my family threw me this college graduation party, I was just kind of expected to announce one of those two things, and I had decided probably 4 days before my party that I was going to go with starting the business, the private fishing club business. So when I told my family, my grandpa kind of pulled me aside and was like, "Man, what are you thinking? Are you crazy?" And probably was. I'm probably more dumb than crazy. And one of the reasons I started the business and took the risk was because my stepdad gave me some great advice. He said, man, you can always go back to medical school, you can always pursue a job in Major League Baseball, but the season and timing of your life that you're in, you may not have a chance to start this business again. So fortunately I did, and that's why we're here today. I tried to get a loan from a family friend that's the president of a bank. I think I asked him for $100,000 and might as well have asked him for $100 million. Thankfully, we didn't get the loan, and I was forced to run the business in the way it should be run. I took $15,000 that I had saved bartending my way through college and started Spring Valley Anglers. The early years of Spring Valley were pretty difficult. I lived for the first 3.5 years in an old blue farmhouse on the property that didn't have central heat and air and didn't have consistent running water. When the water did work, it was pretty nasty sulfur water, so you kind of would roll the dice on whether or not you wanted to even have water, that day. Funny story about the second year, there was a big storm and a tree fell through the roof of my house and destroyed the roof, and there was a hole the size of a VW bug in the roof. For about 18 months that just stayed a natural skylight because I didn't have the money to fix the roof and was trying to just build the business. So we have a lot of members that have been with us for the last 10 or 11 years, and I kind of joke with them now, what were they thinking when they came onto a dirt road and followed it back to a blue farmhouse that looked like it was about to fall over, and with a natural skylight and a tree halfway in the house, and I'd basically just have to run out of the house to catch them before they'd want to get back in their car and turn around, because they probably were thinking they were about to get robbed or who knows what. So my grandpa always has supported me, and obviously he came around and he helped me build all these cabins. Fortunately enough, we were able to have a great membership initially from Tulsa. Now it's nationwide and even worldwide. We have members from other countries, truly a very broad, diverse set of members. There were a lot of growing pains early on, certainly something I can look back on today and really appreciate the effort that it took to get to where we are today. Once you come through our gates, you can have meeting space for corporate events and retreats for up to 85 people. We have chef-prepared meals. You can stay the night in our overnight accommodations. A full sporting clays course. You can hunt deer, you can hunt released quail and pheasant, and you can fly fish for trophy trout in our trout stream. Certainly, I'm fortunate to be able to turn what's been a passion of mine into a career and a successful business. Thank you. I wanted to also mention our headquarters is just north of Siloam Springs, so it's roughly an hour and a half from Tulsa. And when I started the business, it was actually meant for Tulsans more than anyone because I'm from Tulsa. So, but now it's with great pleasure that I introduce you to Josh Teff, our general manager and head waterfowl guide. He's going to share with you some information about the charitable side of our business, and he's also going to show off some of his world-class duck calling skills.
Hello, everybody. So I am not a seasoned public speaker. You'll probably find that out as I go through this, but thank you for allowing us to come and talk to you guys today. This is my first Rotary Club meeting of any kind, so I had no idea how big of an organization this is. John was telling me you guys are worldwide and all the stuff you do, so, well done. I'll look into getting into the Rotary Club in my hometown. So I was born in Fayetteville, Arkansas, not far from here. I grew up in Springdale, and just a little bit south of there, I still live in Springdale, and was always in the trucking business for most of my working life. And going on 7 years ago, Adam was dating a girl that I grew up with, and she told him about me and my passion for hunting and the outdoors. And he just happened to be looking for a guy at the time to kind of take over and help manage his hunting operation. So I was fortunate enough to talk him into getting me out of the trucking business and come to work for him. So at that time, Spring Valley was pretty humble. and it's amazing to see, be able to watch Adam's vision kind of take flight and be a part of that. And so, some of the things that we do, one of the things that I'm more proud of that we get to do is we get to be involved in a ton of charity work, throughout the community, and some nationwide charities. And we've done events for Hooked on Fishing, Not on Drugs. We have kids from junior high and high school that, if their grades are up to par and their attendance is up to par, they come out and they'll bring 14 or 15 of them from junior high or high school, and we'll put 2 of them with a guide and take them fishing for the day and feed them lunch. And it's really cool to see their faces, when they get to see these giant trout, and especially when they get to catch them. So we do that. We do Boy Scouts of America. We've had a real recovery fishing tournament. That's to generate funds for cancer research. Casting for a Cure is one that an actual member of ours, his name's Bill Farnham, and he works for Nike. He lives in Oregon. He doesn't get down here very often, but his daughter has a really unique disease called Rett syndrome, and it only affects girls, and it's kind of a form of autism. So we did a tournament for them, and it was pretty heart-wrenching, and it's a really great cause. Adam goes out to Idaho to do a tournament there every year. Catch a Dream, Make a Wish, we've done those. While We're Waiting is another one. Adam's stepfather actually lost a child, and so that we've donated our facility to allow. It's a bereaved parents organization, and it's amazing what God will do in those events, just kind of outside looking in. It's a really cool cause. And then the one that I'm most involved with is cystic fibrosis. We have a huge cystic fibrosis fundraiser tournament every year, and so I got to kind of head that up. And there's a young man that's a local boy, and he's kind of the ambassador of that tournament. So we've watched him go from this little kid, catching fish in our stream, to now he's this robust young teenager, and so that's a really cool thing we get to do. And we just started with our Sporting Clays course. We're going to do several Sporting Clays tournaments that support local charities. So one of my favorite things to do, period, is I love to introduce people to the outdoors. I've always, since I was old enough to, know what it was and get an opportunity to do it, I've always hunted and always fished, and it's always been a big part of my life. And as I got older, I was afforded the opportunity to start taking people, and for me, there's nothing like watching someone witness a white-tailed deer at 10 yards, or hear a gobbling turkey, or above all else, for me, honestly, the coolest thing is to watch people's faces light up when I watch these duck calls, do what they're supposed to a group of mallards, and they break through a canopy, and you're standing in flooded timber, and they break down, and they're literally landing all around you. There's just nothing like it. So we're really blessed at Spring Valley to have a place most of you may have heard of it, Skelly Ranch, just down the road from here. We lease that property, and it's absolutely incredible to have a place like that that's so close to Tulsa. You wouldn't even really believe it unless you witnessed it, there's a place like that this close. So we take, I guide over there about 55 to 60 days per season, and take around 8 people a day. And it's a really, really cool, I'm very fortunate to have that ability to do that. I have 3 boys, 9, 5, and 11 months old, and I take them as often as I can. Excuse me. And this is obviously something really dear to my heart, because every time that I take them, and when we come back, it's all they want to do. And so, I kind of live by the mantra that if you take your kids hunting, you're not going to have to hunt your kids when they get older. And, excuse me. I'm okay. So, it's really important to me, and I've seen this play out in the lives of many of my friends that are older, and watch their kids stay out of trouble because they would rather go deer hunting or turkey hunting or fishing or whatever it might be. So it's a real passion of mine. Let me gather myself up here. So since I started duck hunting about 15 years ago, the 2 things, about the sport that I really fell in love with were dog work and duck calling. And, you know, for a lot of people, duck calling is just a lot of racket, but when you really get into it, it's an art form. You know, I would liken this to learning how to play an instrument, and the reaction that you get if you sing the right song is pretty incredible. And that's what, you know, I think a lot of people that don't get to duck hunt a lot don't really realize. So I'm gonna kind of show you guys. I'm not gonna give you too much of it because it'll get, you know, kind of old real quick if you're not used to it. But so there's a couple different kinds of or different types of calls. So these are just two of my favorites. This is an Arkansas style call. This is a Louisiana style call. The only difference is the design on the inside. So say you're in a duck blind and there's just birds that are kind of trading around and they're looking at you, then I'm just going to do what's called a greeting call, which is kind of just a 4 or 5 note cadence like this. So I'm just going to kind of get their attention. That just says, hey, we're down here, you know, come join the fun. And then if they try to leave me, I'm gonna do something called a comeback call, which is a little bit more aggressive. So I'm gonna do a little bit more aggressive, try to get their attention to get them to turn back. And then if they're coming at me and they're starting to set their wings, I'm gonna do what's called a feed call. So that just sounds like a bunch of mallard ducks on the water, and they're kind of, you know, down there eating and having a good time. So really the coolest call to make, in my opinion, is a lot of times ducks want to circle, and they'll kind of get on the edge of your spread. They don't like to circle right over the top. They like to stay on the edge. But if you can hit them with this type of call at the right moment when they're set up just downwind, they'll turn and literally almost break their necks to get back to you. And this is what I call the pleading call, or kind of a lonesome hen type thing. Some folks call that the devastator because they can't turn that down. So anyway, thank you again for allowing us to come and speak to you. It's been a pleasure, and I apologize for getting emotional, but I tend to do that when I talk about my kids. Adam is going to do a casting demo for you and kind of show you a little bit about some fly casting here. So thank you very much.
Josh, great job. You can obviously see how passionate he is about not only his job, but his family. And man, that's great for me to see. I get to see it a lot. So I'm going to, I'd say randomly, but I'm going to ask Becky to come up, and she's going to be my assistant. And I'm going to show you guys just how easy it is to cast a fly rod. There's not a hook on this, so if we hit you, you're going to win a prize. This is not ideal because the ceiling's too low, and so the space is not ideal, but we're going to get through it. And I've told people this before. I can teach any woman that I'm not married to how to cast a fly rod. So we're going to test that with Becky. I'm just going to mention a couple things real quick. The difference between fly casting and conventional casting, like Linda is familiar with, and many of you are familiar with, fly casting, you're casting the weight of the line, not the weight of a plug. So the weight of this yellow line is what's propelling the fly, which the fly is the yellow or the orange ball down there. So Becky, why don't you come just right up to here? We're gonna try this. Becky's a great sport, so kind of tight quarters. Okay, Becky, right here. Now here's how we're gonna do it. There are principles to casting. There are things that you've just got to do. So Becky's going to take the rod, and I'm going to help her through this. You got to start with the rod tip low, and the line needs to be straight. Just a little bit here. You don't want to start with like the rod tip high and cast slack into it immediately. Okay? As Becky's going to bring the rod tip up, you have to speed up and then stop. And you have to make sure and stop so that line can load behind her and create inertia. Then she's going to speed back up and deliver the fly that way. So ideally, in a good cast, a cast done correctly, the back cast is going to mirror the forward cast. So let's watch Becky do this. I'm going to help her, and so you guys kind of give us some feedback and tell us what you think. Two more, one more. Okay, you're on your own. Good. One more. That's great. That's great. All right, give Becky a round of applause. That's not easy to do in front of a bunch of people. She's going to get a shirt and a hat for that, and she's a great sport. Becky, thank you very much. I want to do one more quick thing because fly casting can be simple, and I know that it can appear somewhat intimidating. If I were going to teach somebody how to cast, you know, this is it. You can kind of see. Now, if I wanted to teach a child, this is my equipment, so if it breaks, it's no big deal. Let me get. So I took apart the rod, and now I'm still casting it. So if it's a smaller child, now my son is 10 months old, so I'm going to show you how I would teach him to cast. So this is for a smaller child. This is for my son. So that gives you a good example of how easy it is. John told me to show a few tricks. Those are all the tricks I know. And you know, the funny part of this is you do all that casting and never catch anything. So anyway, after 12 years in business, it's especially important that I'm aware of the loyalty of our members and staff. And as we go from surviving to growing to becoming the best business we can, the mission of Spring Valley's Rod and Gun Club and our staff is that we're focused on making memories and impacting lives through the ultimate sporting experience. Thank you very much for your time. And if anyone has any questions for Josh or I, we'll be happy to answer them right now. Yes.
Is all of your property the property of the Skelly property, and you lease all of that, or do you lease some additional property around there?
Josh, repeat the question and you take that one.
So he asked if, is this on? Hello? Okay. He asked if the Skelly property and the property we have in Arkansas is all we have. So no, we lease, we have two corporate memberships into two other hunting clubs and another fishing club. And so if you join Spring Valley, you get access to all of that property. So it's upwards of 200,000 acres, mostly in the middle of the country. And then Skelly is one of the nicer ones that we have access to, obviously. But Tyson Foods subleases that from us, so we're able to take our members outside of their usage of that property, which is usually quite a few days during the duck season. But there's another fishing club in Colorado that gets us access, our members access to 150 miles of private water, streams, lakes, ponds, stuff like that. And then and there's hunting access for all kinds of different game, deer, turkeys, waterfowl, upland birds. On our headquarter location, just in northwest Arkansas, we do the fishing, fly fishing for trout. We do sporting clays. We do put and take upland bird hunts. And we do a little bit of deer hunting around there as well. About to do some turkey hunting there as well this year. So, yeah, we're kind of spread out all over the place. None of those other clubs are reciprocal, though. Spring Valley members can use all of their stuff, but none of their specific members can reciprocate on our property.
In the back, yes, sir.
Can you tell us about the membership program itself?
Details and pricing?
Yes.
Sure. So we have an individual membership that's truly for yourself and your household, say your spouse and your kids. That's $4,000 a year. There's a one-time $3,000 initiation fee. that gives you the ability to fish and hunt an unlimited amount with or without a guide. So if you chose to hire a guide or chose to have chef-prepared meals or chose to stay in our cabins, you would pay additional money. But just to fish and hunt, there's no additional fee other than your annual dues. So it's very similar to a golf club. We also offer 2 corporate memberships. The first corporate membership is for 2 people, so it's a smaller firm. The initiation fee is $7,000. The annual dues are $10,000. It allows you to do the same things that an individual can do, so you can still bring your family, but it also allows you to bring unlimited guests. So therefore, you could bring clients and or staff. And then finally, the large corporate membership is up to 5 people. It's $15,000 a year. There's no initiation fee, and it gives you the ability to bring your family, friends, coworkers, clients, etc. There's unlimited usage in that respect. Okay. Oh, yes, sir. So could someone traveling just, say, out of the blue come and utilize this? No, not technically. We do offer one-offs for non-members because it's a great way for us to expose people that maybe aren't members to our facility. It would be something, sir, that if you called or emailed us ahead of time, we would be happy to set up. But we have a private gate with a security code, so if we didn't know you were coming, you wouldn't be able to do anything. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Diane, thanks for mentioning that also. We have a bunch of brochures outside, so if you're interested, please grab one. Diane, the additional properties in Colorado, New Mexico, Wyoming are through a club that I purchased a corporate membership into, Rocky Mountain Angling Club. So it gives our members, such as John, Pat, and Rex, the ability to fly fish in other states if they're vacationing with their family for the summer. And that's included in our membership, and as Josh mentioned, it's not reciprocal. It's a membership that I purchased that allows our members to use it. None of the Rocky Mountain Angling Club members have the ability to use Spring Valley.
Question back there? Still have a question back there? Oh, okay.
Well, I think in that specific instance, being in Northwest Arkansas, our climate is very temperate. So if you want to go and fish in Wyoming right now, you're going to freeze to death. So if we had someone from across the pond want to come over and fish, we have a private spring creek and you can fish it year round. Yes, sir. Matt, thank you. We do, yeah. So I was able to years ago work out a membership at the Blessings Golf Club. If any of you are familiar with the Blessings, it's as nice as Southern Hills. It's an incredible golf club, and I was able to work out a membership to where our members, the members of Spring Valley, are able to play the Blessings as my guest, unaccompanied, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And if they play on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, then myself or another member of the club must accompany them. So it's a great asset to our members that play golf because it's an incredible course and very, very private and unique. Thanks, Matt. Okay, thank you all so much for your time. Thanks, John.
I hope I don't get emotional like Josh did, but I tripped across this club through hearing about it from somebody. And I was at a point in my life where my father was 78, 77. And we had gone through several years of not being able to enjoy the outdoors together. And growing up in his generation, you didn't take your kids hunting until they were 18 or 19 or 20. And I think that's kind of a cultural thing because that's how they got away from the family. So it was kind of a thing they did to go out in the woods and unwind. And they didn't want kids shooting them in the back hind when they're out there hunting. So I kind of grew up the opposite of that. And I wanted my kids to enjoy the outdoors and to really respect nature. A lot of people look at this as, I look at it as a way to respect nature and to be out part of it. So I looked up and only had 4 years probably with my dad. So I joined for that, and I thank you. I said I wasn't going to get emotional. Didn't work. So I've been able to connect with my children, and then really Pat and I are good friends and Rex, and we saw it as an opportunity to be buddies together and include our kids. So this facility, you know, the cost never really came into play because, as many of you know, if you've been hunters, leases, everything's leased up. So this was a way for us to get a place we didn't have to worry about finding a lease, keeping the lease, maintaining the lease. We could literally, I could take 20 of you, jump in the car right now and go be fishing in an hour and a half because they have all the waders, all the boots, all the rods. You don't have to bring anything. So if my brother flies in and he's got a little bit of time, we can, hey, let's go up there and go fishing, and we don't have to worry about it. So I really appreciate Adam's story and Adam's vision. It took a lot of courage to do this versus being on the medical track. And thank you for having the courage to do that, and thank you for blessing him and giving him the opportunity. And I hope you guys enjoyed this is the one I wanted to get done, my year. So I'm going to call up, what's your name again, Kathy or Catherine? Real quick. But let's get Daniel Branson. Let's get Daniel Branson up first. I just wanted Kathy to stand there and wait.
Thank you, President John. Thanks for having me. It's really good to be here. I know a lot of you. I'm with Rotaract Tulsa, and this is such a great club. But many of you are familiar with an event that we put on. But I want to ask a question. Everyone in here, how many people like wine? Show of hands. Wine? A glass of wine? How many people like chocolate? Anybody like chocolate? Who else? Show of hands. Anybody like cheese? Cheese? Yeah. So we have a really fun event. It's coming up on April 20th, wine, cheese, and chocolate. And we really hope that a lot of you can make it. We're actually here selling tickets to that just out in the hallway today. There are other ways you can help, though. We're taking individual sponsors. We're taking corporate sponsors. We've actually placed flyers on everyone's table. Now, why would you want to help us with wine, cheese, and chocolate? What's the deal with this? So we have several charities, several things we're working on. We're going, much of the proceeds of Wine, Cheese, and Chocolate will go to benefit Rebuilding Together Tulsa, one of our hometown nonprofits, which does amazing work with substandard housing. We're also contributing funds to JBFC, a great orphanage in Tanzania. But really near and dear to us, this year, we've launched our own projects. We have the Rotaract Scholarship. All Oklahoma high school students are going to be eligible to apply for the scholarship. They're going to need to be very community service oriented, but we're launching that this year. We're very excited about that. And also, near and dear to me as a runner, we have our Rotaract Kicks project, which provides athletic shoes to Oklahoma school children who would like to play sports but cannot afford the shoes. We launched that program this year. We're serving all Tulsa public schools at this time. It's going very well, whether they're interested in cross country, basketball, whatever your sport is, whatever they can get into, to get them involved in something and keep them off the streets, we think is a wonderful thing. And so we're really excited about those things. If anyone has any questions, we're going to be out in the hallway with tickets. If anybody has any questions about becoming a sponsor, please feel free to ask me afterwards. Thank you very much.
Okay, real quick while Catherine is coming up, I think we made a good effort to tell you there's going to be a drawing for some guided trips if you bought a 50-50 ticket. So if you didn't buy a 50-50 ticket and you feel left out, you're left out.
Yeah, it's too late now. Although, you know, I had no tickets, I had no cards. I thought Barney just like took the money and ran.
Well, we thought about it. I didn't see him back there.
Okay. You know, my grandfather was a big hunter, pheasant and duck, and the only thing that I got out of all of that was the best time to go hunting for duck.
Ah.
The quack of dawn.
Oh.
You guys are a tough crowd. I mean, that's only the second joke I've told since I started this gig.
That's one too many.
Man, oh man, oh man. I don't get paid enough to do this gig with you.
I know. I'm sorry. I'll
Okay.
be nice sometime.
I don't think so. All right, so let's start out. These are fines for those of you who are guests. Fines are just gifts, really donations that go to our foundation to help us do the good things that we do in Tulsa. So these fines go to our local club, and we have $100 from Russell Gibbs. Where's Russell? Happy birthday. It's his birthday. Give him a pat on the back. And next we have, where's Tricia? She may not be here. She immediately sent me an email after we had notification of Peggy's passing. And she said, you know, I want to give $100. It's because of Peggy that Tricia, for those of you who don't know, she has been over the Rotary Youth Exchange forever and does a fantastic job. And Peggy was the one who she got to know very well because she came in. Peggy was also the first female district governor. So she wanted to pay a tribute for her pioneering ways and also just because they became such good friends during the youth exchange. So that's from Tricia. Thank you, Tricia. Okay, so now we're just going to go straight into the drawings. And how we're going to do it is the first drawing is going to be the 50-50 drawing. The money that we get from selling tickets every week goes to Rotary International. We have a pot. So whoever wins gets to split the pot, and they get half, and Rotary International gets half. So this is President John's way of helping our group do a little more for Rotary International this year. The pot today is $3,298. The first ticket drawn, you'll get to come up and do the drawing for 50-50. The second ticket drawn, we'll get to have their choice of the two-person day trip or the one-person day trip. The one-person day trip gets to go with President. But that was a very generous gift. So, you know, so I think that would be a fun, he's pretty fun. So that would be a fun trip. So before we start, I'm going to ask our speaker to come down and tell you a little bit about the day trip. Just for those of you who did not bring your money, you can feel bad, okay? So come on down.
Okay, the day fishing trip, it's one full day of guided fishing for 2 people. As John mentioned, we will provide all of the equipment, waders, boots, fly rod, reel. The only thing we ask is that you bring a hat and polarized glasses, and then we will also provide lunch for both you and your guest.
Nice. How generous is that? Thank you so much. Okay, so this drawing, you're going to draw, and this is going to be the person who's going to play the game, okay?
Okay.
Okay, do you want to read the number?
9555024.
We know you're here. You just thought like
Tim Nall.
Oh, Tim Nall. While he's working his way up here, you know the unlimited guest
Now,
thing?
Tim is definitely lucky, so the Joker is in jeopardy here.
Okay, so I was talking to our guest.
Oh, I'm
here for
sorry.
just
I'm
a
sorry. Go
second.
for it.
Okay, so anyway, memberships, unlimited guests, right? What he doesn't know is that President John has invited all of us to go up there at the same time. You know, he literally thought you meant unlimited guests.
Yeah, eat before you come.
All right, so here you go. Tim, this could be it. I know, I know. Stop it. Don't be critical.
You're incorrigible.
You're so critical. Oh, tough crowd. Just wait, Charles. Just wait. Okay, you're next, buddy. All right, here you go, Tim.
Take the bottom card, Tim. It's the king.
10 of clubs. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tim.
For playing.
Hey, Catherine, put Tim's ticket back in the pot and shake it up real good.
He probably bought like 100.
That's okay. He gets an even chance at the other thing, too.
Oh, Tim. love you. Heart, get it? Heart, love. Okay. This is for one of the trips. You get your choice of the one-person or the two-person trip.
9554813.
All right.
Whoa! Look at you.
Hey, Brett.
We need to verify just to make sure.
Well, gosh, I would
I
hope.
left my glasses up.
Does it pass the four-way test?
Does it? Right there? Is it a winner, winner?
Yep. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Forward to
Well,
it. Thanks.
okay. One person or two-person?
I'm gonna go two. Sorry, John.
That's all right. I'm having to sell mine.
That way I can say my story was this big, right?
That's true. That's true. Okay, thank you. All right, here we go.
This is the penalty drawing.
Wouldn't that be horrible if I got the ticket? No, I didn't.
9554854.
Oh my God!
All right.
Happy birthday! Oh my goodness! Happy birthday! Wow, that was a great present. Okay.
I'll hook you up after work or Rotary.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for Spring Valley donating that. Thank you. It's a great, Brian, you'll have a great time taking hopefully a client out there, and it'll be great. So we really appreciate everybody coming again for March the 1st. We have a great program. It's our Above and Beyond Award. March the 8th, if you have somebody in your family that loves sports, Kelly Masters is going to be with us. And on March the 15th, we're going to have a basketball tournament. So if you thought today was fun, March the 15th is going to blow you away. So bring your guests, tell everybody about Rotary, go out and be a blessing to those in your community today. We're adjourned.